How can you tell if using assessments for accountability has worked as a theory in education?
Looking at the results, particularly in places in states that have really worked on this and had high standards and worked on closing the achievement gap. I mean, it just shows up in the numbers. I'll send you some of it. But, you know, our students have made more progress in the last decade than they have in a long time. Sadly, we're starting to see some retrenchments. The numbers are starting to flatten and drift. But, you know, if you look at results for poor and minority and special ed students, they're going in the right direction in pretty significant ways, especially in math, less so in reading.
Are you worried at all about Linda Darlingham and, excuse me, mentioning the PISA scores falling since No Child Left Behind is passed?
The what scores?
The international scores.
Oh, the PISA. Yeah. No. You know, as Congressman Miller said, those results. Two things about those. One, what it really tells us is that other nations are leaping ahead of us. They're working. You know, we are. I mean, are we rocketing ahead? No, we're incrementally making improvements. So their pace is faster. But also, you know, our country, we test a much more diverse population. Much more diverse language, many more diverse languages in our country, and you know, obviously much bigger systems, and it's not a federal system. So we have work to do, absolutely.
So what was it like for you to be here today to discuss education as a civil rights issue?
Well, I lived in Austin, Texas for a long time, too, so I feel like I'm coming home, and I worked around the state legislature for many, many years and worked for 2 governors of Texas, so I feel right at home in Austin and here at this institution. And I think whether it's, you know, Governor Bush or President Bush talking about the soft bigotry of low expectations, that's talking about education as a civil right, or whether it's LBJ or Congressman Miller or myself, I think, especially in places that are very diverse and very large like Texas is, you know, we understand that this is our work and this is, you know, what we got into government to do. At the state level, you know, most of the resources are invested in the education system, either the public higher ed system or the public K-12 system. And so I feel very comfortable to be here, and I'm glad to be in common cause with Congressman Miller and a lot of other people who are on this program.
With so many states cutting funding for public school classes and college classes, how do you think administrators should prioritize courses such as STEM-based courses and humanity course-based classes?
Well, part of No Child Left Behind was a focus on the basic skills of reading and math. That was what we said was a federal imperative. We left to the states, whether it was in their policy wheelhouse, to add social studies and math, science and other competencies. But at the federal level, we said reading and math are fundamental threshold skills. You can't be a world-class historian if you can't read, and you can't be a physicist if you can't cipher at some basic level. So it was basically a floor, not a ceiling, but foundational and fundamental skills that everyone needs to do anything.
As a follow-up, how do these tests, I guess, evaluate the importance of courses such as gender studies or women's studies?
As I said, those are local issues to the extent those are part of an accountability system at all. You know, the federal law says test in reading and math every single year in grades 3 through 8 and one time in high school. Whether you test gender studies or social studies or, you know, anything else is up to the states.
I have a question over here. Based on what you just said, do you think the tests that they have in the school system, is that a good thing?
Well, I absolutely think that some kind of measurement that people understand, particularly if it's in these basic skills of reading and math, tells the public what they need to know. And that is, are their students on course, on grade level to be successful in each subsequent year, and are they going to be ready for careers and for the military or for college? And you bet. I think it's great, and I think we need transparency and information for the public, and they deserve it.
Thank you.
Even Sandy Kress has recently said that he opposes the drill and kill, all the benchmarking, the excesses beyond the actual test day.
Mm-hmm.
But the solutions, he never really offers a solution, and I don't hear from the pro-assessment crowd, the only solution that I ever see offered, almost verbatim from everyone, from Arnie Duncan to Michelle Rhee, is new and better assessments. is there a solution to the excesses of the testing culture beyond new and better assessments?
Well, and I think when we say new and better assessments, that means that they're going to be ubiquitous, they're going to be embedded, and they're going to be immediate. And that means that when a student logs on to a reading program through technology, that feedback, that monitoring along the way happens. The teacher has access to it and can correct in real time. And the curriculum can be modified. So when we say new and better assessments, this is not just some notional tagline. It's something that we see in real life, in real products that are available to students all across this country today.